Welcome to the Global Exclusive Podcast, episode 54, part 1. Just like Gumi, we're splitting our episodes in a week, like they're splitting their banners. So listen to this part today, and then a week later, we'll talk about the other half of Dark Fina and Sol, Fina. But this week, we're only going to talk about Sol.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and just cut this episode at like 20 minutes in, okay? And it's like, no matter where it is, I'm just going to cut it at 20 minutes in. You're gonna get the rest of
next and we're regarding the Bahamut trial, we're only going to talk about the easy part. We're going to talk about the extreme version next week, elite version rather. So make sure to keep your eyes out.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, why didn't we do this earlier? Gumi are geniuses. Why don't we? This we should have done this sooner.
I agree.
Anyway, we are a bit more today. I'm really happy for this, and the reason why I'm happy is because, well, I'm not great with details, and I was literally scared to death in the last episode when it was just me and Shadow, because, I mean, you even heard it. If you listened to the last episode, I was nervous all the time, had to check the wiki, but now we have the wiki here with Muspel and Dream, so that's so nice.
The wiki. I am the wiki.
I feel like that's more of Fencer's turf.
It is
the fake mod,
but I also feel that like Dream knows everything about the game, so it's. I feel always safe, like with Dream around, I can just say, yeah, I think this unit sucks, and then Dream goes like, hold on. It's really good. It's really good. It's a good partnership.
Yeah, last week, for those that aren't aware of
No,
this,
Muspel, don't, please.
Last week, I had to shame Barrows into deleting parts of the episode where he and Shadow were going off on weird tangents and saying that Charlotte and Fistolis were bad.
Yeah, I don't think I ever said it were bad. It's just...
You said they dealt bad damage, which they don't.
Yeah, exactly. We did. We both did, Shadow. I re-listened to the episode. We had like this segment where he said like they're not going to do great damage. And then I actually looked at the damage calculations. Yeah. But then I looked at the damage calculations and I'm like, yeah, this is not true in the least because Muspel said so. So that was good.
Because Muspel said so.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have looked at them otherwise. To be honest, I actually didn't think they were done. So props to you, Dream, for doing them so early.
Dream always gets them done like within 2 hours of them going up on the wiki, right?
Yeah, I mean, Dream is much more timely on those calculations than he ever is showing up on time to record this podcast. So,
ooh, nice burn.
It's because maintenance is in the evening and pod recording is in the morning.
Right. I still can't believe, so this is a bit racist, Dream, right? Because you're from New Zealand. But I have a colleague from Australia, and he sounds fucking identical to you. Like, sometimes when you talk, I'm afraid my colleague is secretly in on the podcast, and he's gonna announce it to me at work at any time.
Like, don't be silly, I don't have a job. I'm a student.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the dude I am thinking of is a bit older, actually. But who knows? Like, you could be, like, this could be your alter ego, or like, Secret Life or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there was a banner today, guys. If you haven't realized,
yes, there was.
I mean, there was about size-wise, there was about like half to a third of a banner.
There's a banner-ish.
I guess there is that aspect. We really, I think, kind of want to talk about it. Is why do you think Gumi is splitting banners? This isn't the first case that's happened in 2021.
I mean that's obvious. They're splitting them because we got a bit too close to JP because, JP events are 10 days, ours are 7. So we just got a bit too close. They just want some more space. I think that's it.
I mean, there could also be the matter of, like, they don't really know how to best handle, like, double NV banners yet because we still haven't actually, like, had any of those because of Kingdom Hearts being split into 3 single banners for us.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So
actually,
they've been trying to avoid double NV banners for us so far.
Yeah,
maybe.
And I think that's the reasonable assumption because last year we were at a breakneck pace catching up to JP, right? Like if you think about last year, we skipped story events, we skipped like other raids, we ripped Cloud of Darkness. Like there's a lot of things that were left behind, and now they're suddenly slowing down.
Yeah, but
what it looks like.
I mean, we can't get too close, right? They need a buffer because they are not the ones creating the content, right? So they need. I'm assuming they have a strategy of having like 3 months of buffer or something because if shit hits the fan, then they're gonna have X more weeks of content. Because if we were just 2 weeks away from JP, like I mean, first of all, we'd catch up in just a month, and second of all, if anything happens in JP where someone gets sick and one banner gets skipped, then we've caught up and have no content. So I do get wanting to be like a bit behind JP for Gumi. It's only smart.
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking the double banner thing. I'm also thinking, these were released during JP's anniversary. And I'm assuming they also got a lot more, resources and tickets and shit. So maybe that was kind of the excuse of having double NV banners back then, because that was a way to drain resources. But since we don't have that extra resources, then of course double NV banners it wouldn't make sense for us, right?
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens if they get more common, because JP has had a few other ones like Noctis and Arden and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's true, Noctis and Arden. But wait, wasn't there a way to get? Oh yeah, you can still pity any of them, right? But
I think.
yeah,
Pretty sure
yeah.
JP is now, that's the norm, because I think NV Zidane and NV Vivi are the same banner as well, if I remember.
I think the double for the Chronicle event ones might be becoming standard, and then
Let's see.
I'm sure
It's gonna
other
be exciting.
types will follow.
So shit, are we gonna talk about this fucking unit or no?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
talk about the
yes.
unit now.
If we have to.
I mean, it's
let's
a really
talk-
good unit though.
Make sure to talk about only the first half, guys. Don't talk about the Brave Shift.
Well, their two
Oh,
halves
oh.
pretty similar, so that might be tricky.
Yeah.
I guess we can start off by talking about the TM and STMR and card before we move on
Why
to
are
the
you
shit.
always about the TM and
Go
STMR?
nuts, Muspel.
Muspel, there is more to a unit than that.
Indulge
Just
yourself.
their TMR and STMR.
I
Okay?
know, but we should still talk
Muspel.
about them, because sometimes
Okay,
we
fine,
forget.
fine.
Can indulge himself with that longevity gear, and then I'll talk about the actual unit.
Right,
So
right.
their TM is actually fairly good. It's, if you're using a rod and a whip, it's 90% magic, which is I think the highest of any materia.
Yeah.
But you have to use a rod and a whip, which some mages can't equip whips, and there also aren't a lot of good whips out there. So you have to think about whether it's worth it, or more specifically, let the builder figure out whether it's worth it.
But their STMR though, oh shit,
Yeah,
that
their
is
STMR
a
is-
very nice item.
Maybe the best mage weapon in the game, or at least it's certainly one of the best.
Yeah,
It
I
has
mean-
very high flat magic, 198, and then it also gives 50% TDH and 50% TDW. So
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that would beat it if you have heavy killer rods and you want to use them for this specific trial. Otherwise, if you have this,
Yeah.
it's gonna be on your mage.
or if you're using Black Roselia or something on a mage that wants the LB damage.
Yeah, sure. That's true.
It's easily very comfortably top 5 in all situations.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say it's this probably the second best or third best weapon in all situations. Really,
There
it's
is
so good.
between 0 and 3 weapons better than it situationally.
Yeah,
0
exactly.
and 3.
Well said. Well said. Between 0 and 3. So I mean, even if you just shitter this unit on dailies, I don't know if everyone is still doing dailies. I am, just because it's fun. It's a great pickup. Even if you can't EX1 it, you could in fact, this is one of those units where it might make sense to STMR Moogle it. I know, never STMR Moogle for just raw power, but that's also the most fun in the game, so fuck you all haters.
I mean, it's fine to do it as long as you have a lot of spare STMR moves.
Yeah.
Or just
I do it,
if-
but I have a dozen of them.
I mean, I would do it for them. I would 100% do it for them. Just to have this nice rod, even though I don't really have a better mage than Terra, and Terra doesn't want the rod. So, yeah.
if you're more patient, you can also just send them through 2 shard dungeon rounds for it.
Yeah, or just
So-
one. You can just, buy. One thing that I'm starting to think about doing, or I have done already for a couple of units, is buy 30 of their shards when they hit the VIP shop, and then just wait for the next shard dungeon round, because that gives you a EX2. I mean, provided you have EX1 already, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, but that's
note on that,
provide-
Can we just mention how dumb it is that things leave the VIP shop
Oh yeah.
after several weeks?
Yeah.
Just leave.
Yeah.
Just let them stay there.
I agree. I mean, it really has no effect on it other than you feeling like a worthless piece of shit. Because, so I pulled Physalis on the day. Okay, on the fucking day she went out of the VIP shop, that daily gave me a Physalis, all right? Well, that sucks for me incredibly, right? So what am I, the only thing I can do now is just wait for the shard dungeon to come around again. But if she was in the VIP shop, I would probably spend VIP coins, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Sorry.
after
Yeah.
a month or whatever, it goes back to not existing in the first place.
Such a shame. Should be just permanent. I agree, Dream.
I also want to talk about their card a bit.
Okay.
Sure.
So this kind of reminds me of last gen's card in that it's like offensively it's not as good as what we have already, but it's the first card I think we've seen with lower base stats where it's actually not a bad trade-off. You're getting a little bit of HP, you're getting some resists, and I don't think this is the card you're going to use on mages all the time, but this is one where I think it's nice to have.
Yeah, so the thing about last gen's card is its saving grace is that it also gives 50% TDW, which actually can make it best in slot for certain units, even though it has a bit less flat attack. But,
that's true.
But in this case, you really don't have that saving grace. You have a bit of bulk, but bulk we've been shown so far and know for the future is actually not relevant for damage dealers.
Well, it's more so the resists, I think.
Yeah, the resist could maybe make it, but it's a lot more niche, but it's still like a pretty high magic card.
The resists are nice for DV, actually.
Yeah.
The resists are nice for DV because, like, on DV, you often want to have 30% resist. So that's actually...
Yeah, and a lot of the times, the other ways of getting resist can be clunkier or harder to manage. Like, maybe you're looking at using an Esper without killers or whatever, and this is a cleaner way to do it. Now, it's only 30% to 3 resist, and it only works on FFBE units, so this is definitely not pull for the card or anything, but
no, absolutely not.
It's good.
But is it pull for the unit? Let's now talk about the unit.
Wait. Before we head on, I kind of want to backtrack.
Oh my
to the
fucking
Shard Dungeon. What happened to the Shard Dungeon?
No.
Why do we not
get
have
to talk about...
Why do we
Listen,
not have
asshole. You get to talk about the Shard Dungeon after the unit, okay? Continue on with the fucking unit. I'm going to edit this out.
Sorry. To Shadow how the Shard Dungeon works later.
Yeah.
Well,
please.
No, we need to make fun of him for not playing the game.
But let's do no. Let's pick up this discussion after the unit. It's gonna be too fragmented. Let's finish the unit and we can. This is a great discussion, Shadow. You should ask this question again, and we will make tons of fun about we'll make tons of fun of you.
We will relentlessly mock you.
Yeah. So this is 12. Okay, so I'm just gonna write this down. This is like 12:56 in my stream, or no, actually it's like 12:00. Cut this shit out to about 13:10. Okay. All right. So, is the unit pullable?
Well, they're, like, strong on paper, at least. They have good damage. It's, like, about the same as, like, Bugdibara and, like, Phasalis, which is...
With higher burst,
solid.
right?
Yeah, higher burst with their finisher, but, like, speaking of that, I hope you like using fire chains to fill either a dark limit burst or an earth limit burst. Possibly both if you're keeping up good uptime.
Yeah. So what Dream means is that
elements a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Which we know can be iffy on trials. Like sometimes you really don't have that luxury. Could be because the trial counters for the amount of elements you use, or could just be that you only can use one element. So because the thing is, they have 3 elements, right? They are dark, fire, and earth. But they do mix, so it's a bit iffy.
Some of it's single target, like their dark chains and all of their earth stuff is single target, and then their fire chains and their dark limit burst are AoE. So you've got options, but also sometimes, like for trials, the right one might not be there. Yeah. They've got classic alum uptime where they drop a turn of magic buff,
of course,
which is just.
Dream, can you explain to me
so happy.
How numbers work? Is it true that 5 is 1 greater than 4?
Yeah,
I think so. Studies suggest that is the case.
Yeah, and we do know that natural numbers are still a mathematical mystery to most of us, and their sequencing is really tough.
Okay, so hang on. So 5 is 1 greater than 4, but what number comes after 4?
So I think it's 5.
No, 6 is also after 4, so...
That's a good point. So what if we gave it a 6-turn cooldown and a 4-turn duration?
That sounds perfect.
That sounds perfect. Although, I'm going to be honest, like, that sounds more intentional than their, like, when they do, like, 5 turns cooldown, 4 turns duration. That's like, then, like, that's more like somebody doesn't understand how cooldowns and durations work, where this is more, we just want to fuck you, player. You need to use supports as well if you want magic buffs.
And the killer specialization is Demon. So they have the same break passive as like the previous round of duos, so they'll still be like good choices on Bahamut when that actually gets fixed, because any element works. And then the demon passive works decently on Asura, which is what they were probably kind of designed for, but because Asura doesn't have a break... Well, the element, I think, is pretty okay for Asura, but...
Okay.
Because Asura's element flexible, as far as I know.
Yeah, but I think you don't want to mix elements on Asura. That's the thing. You don't want to do more than one per turn, because she counters for every element you do, right? That's one of the things...
Dark Fina and Sol don't do multiple elements in a turn, but they just do different elements on different turns.
Yes, you're right. I actually forgot that. Yeah.
But because Asura doesn't have a break bar for that passive, they, have much less of a specialization there. And then unfortunately, on a lot of the future mage trials that we know of, like Eren Use and stuff, their elements are actually, not favoured, and so they're bad choices for them, which is pretty unfortunate. So they don't have a great trial future, to be honest.
No. But, I mean, in TV, they're still going to be a great unit. And we kind of, I think it's implied, I guess, but we should say it openly. They are tag chainers. So in the same formula as always, their tag LB in their normal form is a tag chain, and then they have tag abilities in their shift form. Is their shift form LB a single hit?
Yes, it's a finisher, same as Laskin.
Yeah, so, which is good, because on DV, this is a unit that actually can chain on their own, for instance, while still doing decent damage. So that's nice.
Yeah, they're solid for DV. I guess, since the last stage isn't element specific, then they're not super niche or impactful, but they're solid enough.
Yep. The only thing that bothers me a bit is that their Imperil is actually non-elemental.
That's true, but it's only one cast. It's nice that it's on demand compared to some of them.
Yeah.
And
instead of being a cooldown,
they don't run out of anything particularly important Grandis wise like some other units do.
Yeah, last gen loses his fucking imbue, which is so sucky. I just realized that on the Bahamut trial. It's just not fun.
Experience. It wasn't too bad to get around, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, and it's still what, 16 theoretical turns of imbue, so it's still pretty good, but it's just
it lasts a while.
Yeah. So yeah, but it is a good unit. It is a good unit. Just maybe, again, they got shafted by their elements for future trials, but you're going to use them in DV. You can still use them for future trials. You can use them for Asura. And a great STMR. So this is definitely not a cry if you pick up, right? This you should be fun. You should be happy.
Were a chase unit.
No, absolutely not. Not a must pull. Not a must pull. What would be our next mage to look forward to?
If we
Ferris, if you count her, probably.
Yeah,
Ferris is kind of
Luna Freya.
Luna Freya, then, yeah.
Luna Freya is a while away, but
but Ferris is kind of, and Ferris is kind of Terra 2.0, right? Or same mechanically, right?
Yeah, she's like a wind version of Terra, but she's also got some other different fields and some breaks in her shift form and stuff, so she can do a couple.
Because I wouldn't count that as a or I would definitely not count that as a chainer mage in that sense. So this would be our next chainer mage is probably pretty far away as well, I guess. I don't know.
Probably. It's...
Yeah, it depends on what we get for, I guess Valentine's is around the corner, and I know that JP got some really sick buffs to Sweet, Nickel, and Luca, but I don't know more about that.
Nickel's buffs don't really matter, but Luca's ones were nice.
Yeah, let's not burn content. Hey, we're going to talk about this next week. So
it also depends on what we get for Chinese New Year too, right? We don't know what's that Shield's Peel is about. We might completely skip Chinese New Year, and Muspel might not be able to talk about Redacted for another year, hopefully. So
I really hope that they don't get an NVA or enhancements or anything. They deserve to remain in the trash heap.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Chinese New Year will be in 2 weeks for us, and Redacted will get absolutely nothing.
I really hope so. I
think that Gumi is rightfully terrified of spirit damage dealers, and we'll never see another good one.
Well, yeah,
which is a good thing.
Yoshi kind of... Yeah, I agree. And Yoshi is kind of the proof of that, because there's a spirit unit, but it's definitely a support, because his damage was and is really, really low.
I'm okay with them doing it as a side fun thing on other units where you can just play around with it, but it should not be a meta damage deal.
In before Baihu is super broken. Spirit damage dealer in one form.
Yeah, let's see. You know, nothing will surprise me. All right, so are we done with the unit? Does anyone have anything else insightful you want to bring up about the unit?
It's not insightful, but their vision card is really cute. I like it.
Yeah, I still think it suffers from all these festive bullshit team vision cards because it's not interesting enough. But yeah.
Do you
I
think
like that
that
Sol
Dark
takes the
Fina and
balloons.
Sol got together to make Rain jealous?
Yes, I do actually. I was actually thinking about this before the podcast. Thank you for reminding me. Yes. Because, like, this has to hurt for Rain. This is kind of like, you know,
Oh, shit.
his two girlfriends
They're fusion text.
teaming up.
This is actually canon. We need to team up for the sake of the same person. Team
Yeah, I
up
mean,
very well.
That's in the story event.
Yeah,
I
but why
mean,
would I read the
this-
story event?
Because you're not a trash human being.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
That's-
And
that's
when
a
you
burn,
match up
that's
their
a burn.
trust mastery, maybe you can join and we can form a trio. How about it?
Yes. Because I was saying, like, this has to be Rain's wet dream.
Don't give
Sol
Paris his
and
fuel.
Dark Fina. I mean, holy shit, okay? This is really good.
Rip
Although, do you think,
Laswell.
like, but you do have to realize that, like, in this Ménage à Trois, Fina would be wearing the strap-on, right? Because we are all
So let's
thinking
talk
it,
about
right?
the new trial this week, which is Bahamut.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I was about to bring up something really important, I think, and topical to the FFBE canon and lore, but sure, Muspel, sure, go ahead.
So this new trial is, I think, the tankiest boss we've seen yet, right? Is it tankier than Demon
I
Chimera?
believe so.
I mean, tankier because it has a bullshit break bar, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Yeah.
defense and spirit right there.
So obviously, this is one of those trials that we mentioned earlier, where we said that trials are gonna come that are very tailored to a specific unit or units to kind of encourage pulling, right? And this is definitely one of those. Unfortunately, on GL, the buff to damage when on broken enemies is still not functioning, right? That hasn't been fixed yet.
Yes, this trial is currently broken in like 3 ways currently.
Yeah, but the first one is that you are actually supposed, if you want to make the turn mission, you're supposed to use the new tag units. So either Reyna, Last Gen, or Dark Fina and Sol. Is that Fall or Fiol?
I've been going with Solina.
Solina? Yeah. Okay, sure. Because they have this damage increase and it's only a 15 turn limit. And chances are pretty high you can only break once or twice during this 15 turn limit. And you need exquisite gear, like exquisite, to take it down in one break instance. So, I mean, without the buff.
Yeah, currently it is really hard to get in turn limit. But yeah, that's the first way it's broken. The second way is just visual, because he has a bunch of elemental attacks on some of his turns. And instead of like actually having an animation for them, it just pops up the text of like elemental reducing attack or something.
Yeah, I thought that was
So
a
that
new
one's-
thing.
No, I'm
No,
pretty
seriously.
sure that's just like a missing animation.
Okay, because I thought that was a new thing because, like, kind of, you know, trying to flag that this is imperiling your unit as it is doing damage. That's what I thought. Okay, so that's broken.
I mean,
actually.
maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a bug.
Yeah.
And the third one, which is like actually affects the trial, is it's supposed to have a like passive field up that regens you like 100 MP every turn on all your units, and that's just not working currently.
Yeah.
So I ended up having a few MP issues on one of my units.
So to start with, this trial has a fixed pattern of moves over the first 15 turns and probably beyond. I don't know, actually.
I
Beyond.
think it just
It
repeats.
repeats the 15 turns
Yeah.
after.
And so it's very like it's. We said this some other time as well. It's incredibly useful to set your sheet up. So if you kind of have all these 15 turns, you can figure out what you need to do on every turn. And it has some troubling mechanics where you kind of have to both deal with very, very strong non-elemental nukes. That's the flares the Bahamut does on every 5th turn, as well as some elemental attacks and even single target attacks. But all in all, I actually want to say this is a fun trial. Just a
Yeah.
shame that it's a bit broken, because to do it in 15 turns now, you both need to use really strong damage dealers and have like be able to rush down the remaining HP after the first break bar, or, really pray to get another break in so you can do the final damage.
Yeah, without the passive, it definitely felt like a bit much to sort of grind down for now. But once it's fixed, I think it'll be like an actually pretty decent trial.
Yeah, I brought...
Speaking of like just the break bars and the flares, if for anyone not aware, if you like time when you do the break bar, that'll make him skip the various flare turns if he's broken during them.
Thing is, if you can survive the atomic rain, which is his really strongest attack, you don't really care about the flares because they are weaker.
Except for Terra Flare on 15.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, just
That's
re-raise that shit.
Over twice as strong as Atomic Ray. Well, no, it hits 9 times, so...
Oh, okay.
It can kill
I never went to turn 15, so... Or beyond turn 15.
Yeah, I timed the break bars to skip Terra Flare because I couldn't kill fast enough.
Yeah.
But it worked fine.
But it is a good point. Like, if you keep breaking on every 5th turn, or, well, you can't break every 5th turn because one thing we haven't mentioned is actually, so his break bar is quite small. The first time around is only 20,000 HP, but when you break it the first time, it goes to 50,000 HP. So you can't expect to be breaking every 5th turn. That just won't happen, but you can make sure to break every 15th. That's easy, right? So this is one of those trials where if you have a good setup, you're going to be able to take it to turn 500 if you need to. So you can take it down with literally anything. But, well, provided that you can survive the trial, right? So you need a really tanky phasey. But one thing so I just want to say my experience with the trial was still pretty okay. So I brought... I still had a lot of heavy damage, I guess. I brought my own Riku and Eldrin, both geared really well. And then I brought my last gen and a really wailed out last gen. And I think the first break sequence, so Bahamut is broken 3 turns when you break. I think it went down to 25%, and then I actually killed it by just doing damage instead of breaking the bar.
Yeah, he's not.
That actually worked out.
He's only like twice as tanky when the bar is not empty. So
yeah, without the break passives working, it's like don't neglect your damage on the turns where his break bar is up.
Yeah, because he'll just take half damage, and that's obviously not good, but it's not like other bosses where they're suddenly taking 10 times as much or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, on my first turn, I went for the trying to break again, and then I narrowly escaped by killing it on turn 15, because that's when I got to break it again. But on my second try, I just, because I just didn't care about using break abilities, I just went in all on DPS after I broke it, and that actually worked too. Because last gens alone, just chaining, and and I actually didn't even use, I think, their strongest chaining move. I just used their glacial move in base form.
I think that's their strongest non-cooldown one.
Yeah, and then you weave in the cooldown every second turn or something. Yeah, and I think those two together alone did 4% or something per turn.
Oh yeah, mine were only doing 1% because I had my last gen still EX0, so...
Okay.
Oh.
That was bad. And then my other damage dealers were Locke and Furion, which is a fair bit weaker.
Yeah, well, yeah. My Eldrin and Riku did contribute significantly with damage too. Eldrin is still a really strong unit.
Because of their damage plus break skills, they would actually be both really good here.
Yeah, of course. I wonder how far behind is Eldrin from last gen when it just comes to chaining. Dream, do you know, or do I need to open your sheet?
They should be pretty similar, actually.
Yeah, well, except of course last gen has more killers for the trial, but
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they are actually almost spot on. So on your sheet, Eldrin is 402, while Laswell is 417. So very close, actually. Yeah, that's probably why it worked out.
That involves using Laskin's LB every so often.
The main advantage that last gen would have is that due to the higher burst, they can pack more damage into the turns when the break gauge is empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so they would actually be substantially stronger.
Big advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
In the break gauge phase.
And that's why all these units that can burst, that's one of the big drawbacks of Eldrin, because Eldrin just does, his damage all the time, which is good, but it's terrible for break bosses because then he can't do shit when push comes to shove, right? But that's why he was so nice after the first break, because then he could just keep chaining it down, and he still did really good damage.
Just sustained chaining damage is pretty nice here, and he has the break bar skill as well. So yeah, I'd say he is actually quite a good choice here.
Yeah, he was fantastic for this trial.
When people bring last gen, do they bring? They usually bring him as a finisher, right? Like you wouldn't
Yeah, of course.
bring him as
For the bursting.
yeah for bursting.
You burst with his LB.
Okay.
Yeah, as Dream said, like if you don't weave his LB into his damage, his average damage goes down by quite a bit. So
Yeah.
like, I mean, quite a bit. It's still really, really good. It's just that, you know, it's not as good as being this top tier.
Because mine was EX0, I actually had the thing where my Laskin was chaining with their base LB and then capping the friend's shift LB on top of that. So that was a neat display of like the tag chaining.
But that's nice. That's really showing the power of tag chaining, though, right? So that's fun. But yeah, I mean, this is a good trial. It's interesting. It's also interesting in the way that you can kind of try out different. So because it's such a set pattern, right? And it's 50. And if you don't care about the turn missions, you've already done it. It's actually a pretty nice trial, I realized, to go in with other units and just, you know, try different, like, you know, compressing a breaker or doing some other stuff.
Listen.
So it's nice.
Cinzer was able to beat this trial with a 7-star Cecil as his tank. It took him a while, but he still did it. So it's still possible.
Yeah, you can. Well, no, he showed proof of concept and then gave up after like 20% because it would take ages. But yes, you can just like kind of re-raise spam through a fair amount of it.
As long
The
as you
flare
break
turns
like
are iffy.
yeah, you need to break on so Terra Flare hits 9 times, and I think that Mega Flare before it hits like also a fair amount of times. So you definitely need
Giga Flare hits 3 times.
Giga Flare hits 3 times. Yeah, so you either need like you'd probably need like 2 guts and a re-raise, or well, wait, 1 guts and 1 re-raise, right?
And then time the break bars to skip Terra Flare.
The other
Yeah.
important thing about this trial is that the weapon itself, Rod of Bahamut, is actually in the easier version, which I think most people should be
Which
able
is
to
a
complete.
great change.
Yeah, and I think
But
they
that's a great change.
so is the UOC actually. So everyone can most probably clear that. So make sure to get the Rod, even if you can't clear the harder version for Item World at least. So
Yeah.
There's a UOC on both. But yeah, and Rod of Bahamut with the killers on it will help a bit if you're like, we're just on the edge of Demon Chimera's turn limit as well, because it has a relevant killer for that.
Yeah.
all
So all in all, this is, again, it's an interesting trial. I think this is one of those trials where you should just set up a really good team and save it. Because if you want to kind of revisit it later on and try some new strats or new units, which I think is cool. And in fact, this could be one of those trials that we could revisit in just not breaking and figuring out what unit can get it to turn 15 without breaking it. Just like average chaining.
Speaking of general like save and revisit, I'll definitely be coming back with probably the same team once like the bugs are fixed and I can EX1 my Laskin, and then I'll should be able to get it in 15.
Yeah, will you be able to EX1 after VIP or?
Yeah, once he's in the VIP shop.
Nice. I actually spent.
Points are up.
I was actually happy that they did the change with the Lapis, because I actually so I did a couple of Temples once, and those gave me enough coins to buy like 30 shards. Yeah, 30 shards, because I did 3 Temples once, and then I just bought 20 shards with Lapis. That was actually pretty cool. That was I appreciate that change.
But wait, if you got 30 from coins, you would have had enough just with login.
Yeah, the logins gave you like 20 or 30.
Oh, cool! This is when we pretend I can delay gratification. Oh, this is so cool. Yeah, this is funny. You think waiting a week is worth 2,200 lapis? No.
You know, you're the reason that they do this.
I know. Of course it is. I mean, every mechanic in this game is made for people that can't delay gratification. If you can delay gratification, you can be free to play and like fucking cap DV every day if you're just smart. But you know, if you can't delay gratification, like me, yeah, that's it. Like gacha mechanics are made for me.
I don't know about capping DV, but pretty much. Otherwise, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, that's the nice thing about gachas, though, to be honest. Like, most gachas are built in a way where free-to-play is easy if you can delay gratification. If you can just force yourself to be, like, smart, think about future banners, pull the right units, all is good. But if you're like me, you're going to be spending 2,200 lapis to get your EX1, like, 5 days sooner, okay? Just saying.
Also, during this conversation, I have realized something horrible.
Which is...
None of you can pronounce Laskin correctly either, and I thought I'd missed out on my chance to mock Sinzar last week.
Wait, why? Why do I not get the joke?
It's Laswell and Reagan, Laskin.
No, but that's not how grammar works, though. Like, you put them together and it turns into a different word. It's like that idiot thinking that GIF is, like, the creator of GIF says it's supposed to be pronounced GIF. Yeah, in what fucking world, motherfucker? That's not how, like, okay, actually, I'm not going to open this can of worms because people are going to kill me.
It's short for Graphics Interchange Format.
Yeah, I know. So I understand why he says it should be GIF, but he's also wrong because when put together, or it should be GIF because when put together, like it should be.
This is not. That's an acronym. It's Laskin, damn it.
Well,
You're all wrong.
No, okay. Well, acronym. Actually, an acronym you wouldn't pronounce as GIF, right? No, you would try to kind of GIF it.
There's a lot of acronyms that we use as whole words, like laser and scuba.
Yeah, true. But those are also household names, kind of, as well. Like, those have turned into not being acronyms anymore. They're actually words.
But GIFs have turned out to be household names, so.
Yeah, exactly. And I, like, for the record, it's GIF and not GIF. Like, fuck, if you think it's GIF...
Obviously.
Like, holy shit.
But wait, isn't that... Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes.
GIF,
my God,
yeah,
yes.
GIF is...
Is a taco a sandwich?
Wait, what?
What about cajones?
I don't know what those are.
Have you guys never heard about food cube theory?
I was the one that told you about that.
Oh, okay. Well, yes. I mean, then if you have food cube theory, you don't have to ask the question, Muspel. Then you know what's a sandwich and what's a taco.
Okay. So back to the game at hand.
This is the content that people tune in for.
This is the content that people tune in for. There is nothing left to talk about the game. Actually, Shadow, you had a stupid question before that I cut out of the pod.
Oh, yes.
Please do it now.
Yo, where the hell are the shard dungeons?
We got it twice, and it was better than JP's, and it's going to come back in probably, a month or two at this point?
Oh my goodness, I missed it.
Who knows? Because, it gives 5 per day of each unit you put in.
Yeah.
So it's, per day a lot better, but it only lasts 2 weeks. And supposedly we get it every 2 to 3 months. But the second time they ran it was 1 month after the original, so who knows?
Yeah, so you missed out on 28 days of 20 fragments a day, so that's...
So 700 shots.
Yeah, you missed out on a lot of stuff.
That's okay.
So listen, Shadow. So yeah, if you actually played the game, you would know this, but you don't, and you just started, so fuck you.
You know you're just making more editing work for yourself, because the noise gate is going to cut that out.
Yeah, that's actually going to be hilarious because there's going to be this segment where nothing is said and nobody's going to catch it, and then this comes in. So this is going to be great. Well, let's see what happens.
Thank God our technology is auto banning Barris ASMR.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The science is there finally. I
listen.
Thank you, Audacity.
We should do this like an ASMR podcast on some episode, okay? We should all be allowed to just whisper and do sensual tapping. Or wait, here's my cell phone. Enjoy, listeners.
This is banned.
Honestly,
this is actually definitely getting caught by the noise gate.
One of the things that I feel like now that I've played FFB for 2 weeks and my comeback tickets are gone. All of my comeback tickets are gone. This sucks. One of the things that I realized, it's a little rant. I started playing DV again, and oh my goodness, the bugs are just all over the place. Like, one of the things that happen with me all the time is when I select a certain move that isn't targeted, the game acts like I need to target something. What are you doing, game? And there are other times when I brave shift and then something goes wonky. Like, I feel like the number of bugs since the last time I played DV, at least, it's gone up. I don't know how that's possible, but it's gone way up. And the arena bug is still there. I can't believe it. Oh, the units
that is not a bug. That is a feature.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just
never
bad.
Run into it anyway.
It's just bad state management and recovery. That's
been
there forever.
A bug implies that it's unintended behavior. It is clearly intended. It's probably to avoid something even worse happening because they couldn't figure out how to make it work properly. But it's not a bug.
No. It's a lazy developer. He was writing this code and he was like, oh shit, if this happens, I have to do so much cleanup and reset and it's going to be a shitstorm to, test and make sure it works. Yeah, fuck it. I'll just log them out. Fuck the player. Who cares? And that's what happened.
I feel like...
And with that, we are going to log out of this week's podcast.
Excellent. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Do I get to stay around because I've never been logged out of Arena?
Really?
Really?
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
I
wow.
occasionally get kicked back to title screen,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
once
that's-
every 2
but
days.
that's
that's
what
what we're talking about, when the enemy team
Yeah.
changes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't actually have to log back in.
Yeah,
if
it doesn't
you
make you
want
log
to be
back in, but it
Satan-
makes you go through the...
But it only happens every few days.
It makes you
But
go through
listen.
back to the title screen, and it takes 2.5 minutes to load into the game again.
But here I want to say, if you really want to be a true asshole, go into the arena screen once per hour and just change your team comp. Because, fuck everyone else. If everyone start doing that, there's going to be a lot of angry players, and then maybe Gumi will fix it.
No, they won't. It'll just make the game worse.
Yeah.
I do see what Shadow's saying. There is a bit of bug build up currently, and the next app update has a lot of work to do.
Yeah, but the QOL features are incoming, and I'm so excited for those.
Yeah, I'm really just hoping that first and foremost, that the break bar bug gets fixed, because that's going to make this trial a lot less painful for a lot of people, I think. So
Yeah,
that's going to be great.
That rant about the bug wasn't even including the Bahamut bugs, like the whole field thing and stuff. And last gen is kind of broken right now, so it just feels weird that since the 3 or 4 months that I've not played it regularly, that the bugs have only increased instead of decreasing. But here we are.
I think it's been quite a recent thing where JP got some pretty significant app updates, and now we have been starting to get banners from and content from after those updates before getting the updates themselves.
Which I still don't get why, though. I'm really feeling that Gumi has a lot lower... I mean, obviously they have a lot lower development capacity right now for FFBE for some weird reason. Because nobody's working on it and nobody is porting the app updates. They're just doing the data. And I don't know why. As I understand it, War of the Visions is now doing worse than FFBE. So what are they pulling their resources into? Do they have another game going on? I don't get it.
I don't know who we even point our pitchforks to. Is it Square Enix for mismanaging this whole thing? Is it Gumi for not, having the foresight to plan it? Or is it Alien for making a broken game? It's just such a messy
To be honest, I feel Alien...
Yes.
Listen, I feel Alien is knocking it out of the park right now. They're doing really good quality of life changes. They're even becoming a lot better with rapidly experimenting and updating their game. You can really see that because they're actually throwing out, new and better banners constantly. The whole Envy thing, old Alien, it would have taken them 2 years or maybe 1 year to get to a proper state of Envy. But new Alien only took them 3 months. That's fucking impressive. So Alien is really doing well. I think the biggest problem is that Gumi has really lowered the amount of people working on FFBE, and I really don't know who to blame. I mean, that could be Square Enix with their direction. That could be Gumi betting on something else. Maybe they're making a new game, or maybe they're pooling even more resources into War of the Visions, trying to get that to not fucking die. I don't know, but it is what it is, and we are getting less development resources on FFB, which sucks because it's still a really fun game.
All right, Dream, hit us with the "you're actually all wrong." I heard the sigh.
No, just cue the fucking chocobos. It's enough. I can't do this.